as you said, that these men, they have their own network and they would like to pick somebody from their network, and probably they have some bonding, right? So they'll just try to pick it up
Yes.
from network. But then what I'm saying is, how is it that they will be, when they have to take any decisions or anything, don't you think they will not have the full 360 degrees view, because they are just picking up from their network? That means only the like-minded people would be picked, and they will not have that complete understanding, or a see, if somebody says an idea, there has to be a tangential view of that idea, then only you can understand the idea completely. So don't you think, I'm not talking about just women, but even men, if they're picking up from their network, I don't think so they're doing a good job. That's what I feel.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. I mean, there is no mandate to have board evaluations,
Mm,
right? Boards
mm,
need to be evaluated these days.
mm.
So, which then bring out the fact of a lack of diversity of thought, a lack of diversity of backgrounds, a lack of diversity of gender, lack of diversity of age. All
Yes.
these things are coming out
Okay.
through these board evaluations.
Mhm.
And I absolutely agree. Any board or chairperson of a board who is serious about building a very good board, a very successful board, and a very diverse board really should consider
Mm.
not only women, but different age groups and different backgrounds. You need to have different mindsets to be
Minds,
able to generate new ideas, innovation,
innovation.
different angles of perspective, different customer experiences.
Yes.
One of the things I find most laughable is when there is cosmetic companies or other female product companies
Mm.
that have no women on their board. It's like,
How
who
can
are
they
you talking to as a customer?
Mm. They can't understand the
Right? So,
sensibilities of a lady, right? A women, right? So if they don't have
yes.
anybody of that kind, then it becomes. They have to get the experience only with the customers. That is the final product. They're up with the final product, and they just think that by selling or getting rejected, they get an experience. That's not the way, right? Yes.
Women have a unique experience in terms of buying products, right? We know what we like and why we like it,
Yes.
right? And I don't just from my own experience, I think men think differently to some degree. We have different brains, we function differently. So when men are trying to sell products to women, they should have at least a women consultant, a women advisor, a women in their board, a women in the C-suite. Otherwise, they can't really translate
Yes.
um, and understand what women are responding to.
Correct. That's very wonderful. And you having a different you have played different roles, like CFO, entrepreneur, and advisor, and different roles, like I think in boardroom also you were there, right? So what is the, how do you see these roles, and how do you think that I think you were successful everywhere. Can you tell your success mantra?
Success mantra. Oh, that's a good one. I think the main thing is to stay calm and to not give up.
Okay.
See, there's everybody gets through rough times. Could it be from the business? Could it be from your own health? Could it be from people around you that suddenly something changes? Everybody has rough times once in a while. I mean, that's life, right?
Life.
So the question is, how emotionally intelligent are you? How advanced, how empathetic are you with yourself as well as with other people around you? I
Okay.
think for women, it's a big thing to take care of themselves
Mhm.
and make sure that they don't overstretch and they don't burn out. I've burned out before. I've even in my entrepreneurial venture, and then it's very challenging to not burn out
Oh,
because as an entrepreneur, everything depends on you, right?
yes.
You
Mm.
think everything depends on you, and it takes time to set up systems that actually back you up.
Yes.
And as an entrepreneur, I think it's the hardest thing
Hmm.
to keep calm and go at the pace that you can actually sustain.
Okay.
And I think women entrepreneurs are way underrated. They get very little to no funding.
Mm.
And, I think this is another area that Divershefy is not specifically working on women entrepreneurs, but I feel very much as a woman entrepreneur, the struggles that women are going through as entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And I wished there was more support for women entrepreneurs, specifically in terms of investments.
Okay. Because when you say investments, it's all coming to trust. It's all coming to trust and how we convince the investors and kind of things. And lady entrepreneurs may not have, I mean, that's why I said, do you have any, as you are saying that you are preparing ladies for board and C-suites, do you have any prescribed, what you say, curriculum for training up the entrepreneurs in future? In future, I'm asking.
So for entrepreneurs per se, we don't. But we do have for board members and C-suite. For that, we do training programs. Okay. Specifically for board members, we have a lot on board politics, board committees, research before a board interview, and we're preparing them well for board level training is there. Okay. But entrepreneurial training, we don't do. There's a lot of other organizations, not a lot, but there are a few other organizations who are doing that. I know of a few. That are specifically working with women leaders. And in Telangana, for example, it's the V-Hub, you probably have heard of. Yes. There's a few organizations like that specifically support women entrepreneurs. And I recommend that women entrepreneurs go to join such incubation centers to get the kind of support they need. But in the end, if they don't get the funding they need, all the help will go to waste. Yes. So you can, as an entrepreneur, I know you can build revenue to a certain extent, but unless you get some funding, it's very hard to scale. And for this, to join your Divershefy, what is the qualification a lady or a woman should have, and how should they approach you? What kind of requirements do you look for? Do you have anything specific, some exam or some interview or something like that? Yeah, so we have 3 different levels. Okay, the top level is what we call the Divershefy Distinguished Director program. Okay, this is for women with at least 20 years of experience who are interested in joining a board C-level role. And for them, there's a membership model we have to join as a member, and then we do the training program with them. And then eventually we help them getting placed. Okay. Then we have a program for women 10 to 20 years of experience. This is more of a corporate, usually corporates pay for that, where they train their women leaders, senior women leaders, for global leadership roles, global leader certification program. Okay. Very senior women, but trained by international women leaders, C-level, board level. There's live master classes, there's mentoring, 6 months of mentoring by C-level women leaders and board level women leaders. Okay. And self-study. Okay. And then we have a program for younger women, 5 to 10 years of experience, which is called Leader Incubation Program, which is typically for women who have their first leadership role, or maybe they have had a leadership role for a year or 2, but they're not experienced leaders. Okay. So this is for those women, this is for 4 months program, where they have self-study, group coaching, and mentoring. Again, mentoring senior women leaders. The mentoring is a very, very important aspect of any program. Yes. Some companies provide mentoring in-house. It's good to have. It's better to have that than not have any mentoring, because mentoring is critical for any woman to succeed, in my opinion. Okay. And all the women in my age that I've talked to, these 1,500 women I've talked to, they say, if I would have had a mentor in my early years, my career would have been very different. And I think we all want to mentor now younger women because we know the benefit we would have had if we would have gotten that mentoring. So many of our Divershefy Distinguished Directors are actually mentors in the other programs. Okay. They're mentors or speakers in the other programs. Okay. So in this way, we are paying it forward. The women who have more experience pay it forward by being mentors and speakers in the programs for the younger women. Oh, wonderful. Okay. And this is actually something I feel very strongly about, that women can support other women, and women do support other women. Yes, there are some men say women are the biggest enemies of women. There are women out there who are not supporting other women. I do understand and I agree that does happen. But there's a lot more women who do support other women, and I am proving that with Divershefy. because we have a wonderful community of mentors and speakers and members who are willing to support each other and younger women.
Wonderful.
And this is really, really important. If we want to change the business culture, we need women in board and C-level who
Yes.
want to support other women in their company to
Yes.
thrive and to grow and to reach to higher and higher levels.
I
That's
love.
why it's so important that we get those women into those roles who actually want to support other women.
Wonderful. And now, what is your team? Like, you have a bigger team size, or your Divershefy levels and kind of things?
I have a few administrative team around me, and I have a lot of volunteers that support us. A lot of the women who are supporting the cause, basically, it's a for-profit,
Yes.
but it is very socially oriented. So
Yes.
we get a lot of support from volunteers. And at this point, I want to thank, if anybody of the volunteers listens, thank you very much for volunteering. It means a lot for the
Yes.
success of Divershefy and for me personally.
Oh, wonderful. But your thought has gone a very long way in the last 7, 8 years. And I think you made a lot of impact on I mean, people looking for women looking for ways. How do we come up? How do we these things? A lot of questions are being addressed by your Divershefy. It's a very nice initiative. So, what mindsets do you believe will be most critical for success in future?
So for young women, when they're thinking about how do I build my career, right? That
Yes.
is often a question when I talk with younger women. So what do I do to
Mm.
build my career? I mean, one thing is you should join one of those programs that will give you all the answers that you're looking for.
Mm.
But short of that,
Mm.
you definitely need to learn strategic thinking, not just operational thinking. Strategic thinking is extremely important.
Mm.
Second thing is you need to network. You
Mm.
need to learn how to influence other people.
Mm.
You need to be able to negotiate. You need to learn negotiation skills. You
Mm.
need to learn people skills. How do you work with other people? How do you communicate? How do you negotiate? Very important.
Yes.
And not just on the low level, but actually, if the higher you get, the more skilled you need to be at those levels.
Mm.
Influencing, even in the boardroom,
Mm.
you have to learn how to negotiate and influence in the boardroom. How
Yes.
do you bring an idea and a solution that you have for a certain problem in the boardroom? How do you get other board members to agree?
Yes.
That's a skill.
How do we
That
buy
is a skill that you can learn.
How do you buy the other people?
Yes.
Mm.
I mean, you convince them in the right way and get them to understand your thinking. You
Mm.
have to be self-aware. You
Mm.
have to be I mean, that's a human trait. We should all be more and more self-aware about our own conditioning, about other people's conditioning, about how we function, what triggers our emotion.
Mhm.
And also very important for women, the imposter syndrome. You probably have heard of, this idea that I'm not good enough and I got this promotion even though I don't deserve it. And no, women are actually a lot more skilled than they even admit to themselves because they're always getting told they're not. So
Yes.
we have to wake up to the fact to what we are really capable of and
Yes.
really understand our strength and
Yes.
play to our strength.
Yes.
And that has to do with self-awareness and supporting yourself in your own journey and
Yes.
getting confidence. And these programs that we have, this global leader certification program, leader incubation program, big part of it is also the gaining of confidence,
Confidence.
speaking clearly and being confident about what you're saying and understanding the concepts clearly. And another thing that's very important is thinking out of the box and being innovative.
Yes.
Very important skill for anyone. I mean, all these skills that I just said are actually important for men and women alike.
Mm.
Some women are struggling more with than men, but these are skills any leader needs to have.
Yes.
And that is something you can learn, you can train, you can learn that. But you have to actually make the effort to do so. It's not necessarily a given. Nobody, is born as a great leader. I
So,
mean, some have a more intrinsic quality of being a leader, but you do still have to learn leadership skills. It's very important if you want to actually grow in the career.
okay, wonderful thoughts, wonderful ideas.